So number one is if you're not insanely, obnoxiously, and irrationally obsessed with the concept of personal and professional development, or honestly, anything for that matter, don't start it.
Hey Alexa, what's going on? It's great to see you.
Hi, I'm so glad to be here. Thank you so much for having
What you been up to lately?
Keeping very, very busy. So as you know, I sell real estate and also lead a young professionals organization. So my real estate business is just insanely busy, but in the best possible way. And with our organization, Millennial Empire Builders, we just started our third chapter. We're getting ready to start our fourth in Houston, and just continuing to grow.
Awesome. Congratulations on that.
Thank you so much.
And what are the obstacles that you face with doing this program?
Currently, or are we talking about like over the past 5 years?
Well, what you're doing now with the Millennial Empire Build, what is the obstacles you face?
I would say the biggest is finding the right people. So we've talked about before how when you're starting anything, like you literally cannot do anything by yourself. And I think I see a lot of times people are like scared to share their ideas, or they're scared to like get people to buy into their ideas because they're like, I need to do it by myself. And the reality is you just can't. Like you have a limited amount of time, energy, effort, willpower, resources, money, like everything. And trying to do it by yourself is just exhausting. Mm-hmm. So it's not about finding just more people, because when you have the wrong people, that's actually one of the most expensive things you'll ever do, is bringing the wrong people into your world. But finding the right people, and that takes a lot of time, a lot of talking to people, and a lot of really, not so much trust, but more so being patient, I think, in vetting people before you actually decide to go into business with them. So I would say going through that process to find more of the right people, that's honestly the biggest challenge and the biggest opportunity and the biggest obstacle that we're facing right now.
Yeah, that's very important. And how many attendees do you have in this program? Like how many people go through it?
You know, when you go to, I'm sure you've been to like workshops or something before, and let's say you go to like a branding workshop, and I use that example because everybody wants to do branding because it's like the exciting part of your business. It's like giving your business a personality. So most of the time you go to a workshop and they're like, we're going to teach you how to brand your business. And you're like, okay, this is cool. This is what I want to do. And you go to the workshop and they kind of talk about branding or personal branding at a very high level. And you leave there and you're all fired up, but you don't actually know how to implement it, right? So what we started to do differently is we actually take a specific topic and break it down into a 4-part series. So rather than just being like, hey, we're going to talk about branding and get you excited and then send you home to just not know how to do it, we break it down into the 4 workshops. So just let's say, for example, using branding, or continuing with that example, we did that series, last series in our Broward chapter. And the first workshop was all about the look of your brand. So understanding like colors and font and really figuring out what your brand is going to look like. The second workshop was all about the actual, we called it the voice of your brand. So copywriting, learning how to tell a story, all of that. The third workshop is, it was the home of your brand, and that was your website. And the fourth workshop was promoting your brand. So I tell you all of this to say that our focus is not on more attendees. It's really on getting people who are committed to the entire experience. And then those workshops are then recorded. So to answer your actual question, each of the chapters, we generally have between like 25 and 40 or 50 people who come to the workshops. And then those workshops are recorded and posted in our online academy. So the goal is not more people. It's really just depth of the people who do come.
So you're looking at results more, like,
absolutely, yeah.
Where are they going to take this information?
Exactly.
And, how they're going to be successful with the resources that they're gaining.
Yep. To me, it's like If we had 700 people there and only one person was successful out of it, that's not a success to me. But if we have 25 people that are really getting a ton of value and are making a big difference in their business and their lives and their careers, to me, that's where our value comes from. So
Yes, I agree with that. I mean, you're bringing out valuable information. So
thank you very much.
It's very, very important. And what advice would you give like somebody that wants to do what you're doing? Like, I mean,
Oh, man.
I'm definitely going to encourage everybody to start a program
Absolutely.
like that because you never have too much of them. I mean, you always have more.
So number one is if you're not insanely, obnoxiously, and irrationally obsessed with the concept of personal and professional development, or honestly, anything for that matter, don't start it. Because, I've told you before, we just celebrated our 5th birthday. And in the last 5 years, like if we're being really honest, I have cried, I have almost quit, I have literally hovered over the button to cancel we started on Meetup. So to actually close down the Meetup group, I'm not even kidding, to the point where like my finger was on the mouse and I'm like, we're gonna cancel this. And something inside of me would not let me cancel it. And I'm telling you, the only thing that stopped me from doing that is the fact that I'm irrationally obsessed with professional development and more so being around people who are obsessed with professional development. So like advice number one, if you're not obsessed with it, don't even bother because it will not succeed. Like there's so much stuff that you have to go through to start something like that, that if you're not, like the best way I can explain it is this. If let's say do you have kids?
I don't have kids.
Okay, so, but there's someone in your life that you like would do absolutely anything for. So mom, siblings, cousin, nephew, niece, whatever. Somebody in your life that you care about so much that you would literally do anything for. So if like, I'm gonna get like really gory first, or really like brutal for a second. So
Tell me, I'm all ears.
let's say I put like a wall in front of you, like a brick wall that has like fire and spikes and like, I don't know, whatever crazy example that you can think of. And on the other side, I said, this person that you really, really, really care about, if you don't get across this wall, I'm gonna kill them. My guess is you're gonna do whatever it takes to get through that wall. Even if it kills you, you will do whatever you can to actually get to that person. That's kind of the level of obsession you need to have to start, whether it's a business or an organization, a nonprofit, anything, because of how difficult it is at the beginning of starting it. So
you have to have some sort of OCD for success, basically.
Not even just OCD, it's obsession, because OCD, the way this is just my understanding of OCD, is the fact that you're obsessed with detail.
Yeah.
That will actually hurt you more than help you, because done is better than perfect.
Okay.
I'm sure you've heard that phrase before.
Yes.
And if you're obsessed with detail, you'll constantly be stuck in the process of like, let me refine and tweak and never actually start. Whereas if you're obsessed with the mission, you're like, I don't care if it's not perfect, the message is more important. And so you start moving and, making that process towards whatever your goal is.
Awesome. Thank you so much for the advice, and
Absolutely.
and also thank you for stopping by.
Yeah, sure.
All right.